I want to say I have no apologies for the live that I did the other day. I made those lives private, um, and I may go back and revisit them. Now let's talk about what's going on here. And while what I had to say the other day is quite synonymous, or what you just saw well, now probably the day before yesterday, by the time most of you get to see this, which would happen on Fresh and Fit's podcast. Now, many of y'all know I've been I won't say an advocate of Fresh and Fit, but I haven't mentioned them several times here in my little diatribes, and I've talked about them and I've said what I thought about them. And I agree with many of the things that they say on many different topics. Um, but I wanted to stand firm and correct on a few things. One, I find it odd that Myron and Fresh both kind of have something to say about, let's say, specifically African Americans and their temperament when you come from one of the poorest regions, Myron, in Connecticut. All right. Now, make no mistake about it. And shout out to New London, and shout out to Norwich, and shout out to a couple other locales here in Connecticut. Um, to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Let me share this real quick. Make sure we get some more people in. I know it's a weird time of day, and I'm going to make sure that I rehash some of this. And we're going to take our time with this. Also, guys, keep in mind this is a donation drive as well. So make sure you hit up the Cash App $ STRINGERBELL80. This is a donation drive. I'm trying to see if I can get some people to support me as I talk about this subject because this subject is dear to me. And many of y'all don't know Myron, which is one and a half of Fresh and Fit. He's actually from here in Connecticut. He's from New Britain. And I in the community section, you guys go check that out when you get a chance. And what you'll see in there is you'll see some demographics. You'll see some demographics for crime statistics and area, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which most towns, counties, states, federal level, they ascertain to get a gist on what's going on in this particular areas. I also put up some demographics for Sudan, which shows that Sudan is not one of the most safest places in the world. Let's say that both of these places, Myron, who is the other half of Fresh and Fit, Fresh being the darker skinned gentleman that you see from Barbados. I think that's where you're from. Shout out to you because I got something to point out about you too, because a lot of people are going at him when they shouldn't be going at him. Um, Imaginably enough for the people I'm going to get to creep in here and be like, what are you talking about? Let me go talk about it now. I can do a better job. No, you can't because you ain't from here. Problem is, let me give you a quick example where Myron is from here in Connecticut. It's called New Britain, Connecticut. New Britain, Connecticut has always been synonymous with violence. It's always been synonymous with poverty. It is ranked as one of the worst places that you could possibly live in the state of Connecticut. Yes, that is true. Along with Bridgeport, along with New London, along with Hartford, along with what's the other one? Waterbury, and there's a few others that for the most part, you wouldn't even go to anyway. All right. This is here in the state of Connecticut. Even though Connecticut is one of the richest states in the United States, it's considered the richest state in the United States. That's outside of Hollywood. That's outside of many other different locales, including Miami, Florida, and many others that are opulent areas. But New Britain ain't one of them. And anybody that lives in the town here in Connecticut, y'all know that as well. So Myron, even if he didn't come from poverty, he comes from an area that is abundant in poverty, okay? And also abundant in many minorities, all right? Two particular minorities that pretty much saturate that whole area outside of Sudanese, which is his background, is Latinos and blacks. Oh, you will find a lot of Latinos and blacks in New Britain. And New Britain has never been a savory place. Another thing I want to throw in. Many times before, I've spoke about a Mayor Giordano. Some of y'all, my long time people here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. People that are here in the state of Connecticut that live here, you know who I'm talking about too. Mayor Giordano, who was the mayor of New Britain at one time, um, this goes back maybe 2000, maybe 99. Mayor Giordano, which I think he's still in prison, he had prostitute, black female prostitute, bringing him 13-year-old black little female prostitutes. This was the mayor of New Britain, where Myron, one half of Fresh and Fit, is from here in the state of Connecticut. So with me giving you all this update and telling you what this area of Connecticut is about, I'm doing this for a reason. And like I said, make sure you go to the community section and go look at the demographics I left there from both New Britain and both Sedan, both respectively where Myron from Freshandfit is from. Most of the chicks were from immigrant backgrounds. No, they were not. And that's another thing I want to push too. A lot of people are sitting here and they are under the inclination because of what one person started as a rumor to kind of divide and derive from the situation, which was actually evidently going at hand. Now, I heard somebody mention out, oh, well, the girl is Haitian. She doesn't have any. You guys have got to stop with this stupid ass shit talking about, oh, well, because they say the same shit about me. Who am I to talk about black issues? Don't you claim that you have Caribbean too? So I sat back. Name me two of the girls, baby Lynn Stansfield. Give me two of the names of the girls that you did the research. Give me two of the names of the girls right in the chat. Because I know their names. So write two of the girls' names in the chat and I'll shut up. And tell me their backgrounds. Because irregardless, if those girls were Haitian, Barbadian, Jamaican, whatever the case may be, they all grew up here in the United States. They all emulate Black American culture. And for the most part, especially in Miami, most of those girls down there, even if they're Haitian, I've lived in Miami, I've frequented Miami, I have friends in Miami. I can pick up and go to Miami tomorrow and I will be straight. So I know Miami very well, which is a place where they filmed this at. So you have people not only from different demographics, but you have people from different immigrant backgrounds. Most inclusive would be, yo soy aquí, siento saber cubano, el negro, Haiti, and you have people from the Barbados to Jamaica, et cetera, that live in surrounding areas like Opalaka, what's another one, Hialeah, Biscayne, places like that. All right. So these girls, even though one or two or three of them may be from immigrant backgrounds, the point still remains. These girls walk, talk like American black girls. They were raised in American schools. They emulate black American culture, et cetera, et cetera. And that's more of a problem than anything. And I'm going to sync this together so you understand, baby Lane, because I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand the bigger issue here. The problem with it is all those girls, if the average white American saw them, see, we're talking about perception. The average white American saw them, and this is including Myron, and this is including Fresh too, which I can't say his name, but Mr. Fuentes, who's a Mexican, by the way, or half Mexican. He and I do mean that Mexican. I don't mean Latino. I mean Mexican. Which I tried to explain to you guys before. The leader of the Proud Boys, who was arrested by the FBI in Miami, he was Cuban, white Cuban, but Cuban. I told you guys before when I was on here, and I did this, I think now a day back. I told you guys and I explained to you there are a lot of communities and individuals in these communities from different cultures that are now aligning themselves with white separatists, aligning themselves with white separatist ideologies, aligning themselves not because they necessarily believe in these ideologies, but more so they see it as the way to go to fit in. Now, what did he say? If his father is a Caucasian, that makes him a caveman. Baby Lane, I don't do talk like that over here. You feel free if you want to do that talk on your own. For me personally, if you could hold back from that, that's messing up the algorithm with me. You understand what I'm saying? So you're not helping me. Nor if you've been with me for a while, I grew up around Italians and Greeks. So I'm not going to sit around and call people caveman or any of that stuff no more than you would want me to sit around and call everybody the N-word. Y'all got mad at me when I said it, but listen to what I'm saying here. Those girls that sat at that table, there was only one of them that was Haitian. And two of the girls were Latina, Dominican, if I'm exactly right. And those girls, they sat there, and the only person that said something back, and I think that was Baby Lane that just left. I appreciate you, my friend. Uh, yeah, because this is why you can't get far with, and this is why what's happening to you is happening to you, because the moment you don't hear something that is relegate in gossip or relegate into the way that you personally believe versus the way the rest of the world is perceiving you, that's your problem now. And it will continue to happen. You think this thing with Nick Fuentes is bad? It's 10,000 of him waiting for you. And what they did was especially with you allowing your women to do what they did. And I don't care what background they're from, because there's so many of you that are African American that sit back and talk about this FBA shit. But all of you 10, 15 years ago were claiming, well, I'm half Navajo. I'm half white. Oh, my grandmother, she's so. If you get the average black person in front of a group of other black people, what they will do is, without having any insight on the language, any insight on the other culture that they're claiming, or anything else, they will say proudly, I'm half of this, or I'm half of that, or whatever the case may be, to seem exotic, to seem like they are better than the actual people that surround and represent them. You understand? This is why you had the problem. It was so easy to attack you. I'll even go even further. The night that I did this live, and I did two of them, and now on both of them are put on private, you will notice something. The next thing you will notice is I said what I said in that live, and I said it very correctly and very clearly. I said, these white separatists are not scared of you. They actually think that you fear them. They actually think that you are no challenge. They actually feel comfortable saying what they are saying to you because they know you would rather fight amongst each other than fight them. And they think this because of the pure simple fact that the laws will protect them, that if you're on a certain side of advocacy that believes in these type of rhetorics, that what will happen if you're a black or brown person and you join and align yourself with them, you will be put as tier. This has nothing to do with political parties or anything. This is an ideology. Dick Gregory said it best one time when he said white is a mentality. It's not a color, it's a mentality. Anybody that's ever paid attention to Dick Gregory, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anybody else that has, you won't. But Dick Gregory said it out of his own mouth. White is a mentality. I know this from living in this white state for a very long time, almost all my life. Caucasian literally means cave. It was disrespectful to people. I'm not into the Hotep thing, man, but salute to you, bro. Anyway, because I'm going to bring in the Hoteps and how their lack of doing anything too, because you haven't seen Brother Sinetta. You haven't seen Brother Polite. You haven't seen any of these motherfuckers say anything, have you? Have you? In fact, the only person that has said something and rose to the occasion is O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to him. You understand? O'Shea, I didn't like where you came from and the angle that you were coming with, but you pointed out some things that even I didn't see at first, and I had to go back. First of all, let me just tell you, if you guys have ever seen this clip, just go to the right down below, and the only thing you have to do is go into the no, excuse me, description box, and the link for the video is actually right there. You guys can hear it and see it for yourself, and then come back and tell me what you think, and make sure you write your opinions in the chat room so I know. As I was saying earlier, if you're just now tuning in, Myron, who is one half of Fresh and Fit, who many people would say alligated and brought forth this guest, which is Mr. Fuentes, he's from right here in Connecticut, right up the block, matter of fact, from New Britain. And New Britain has always been known as one of the most unsavory parts of Connecticut, if you want to talk about Connecticut. I mean, everybody here, they know that. Hey, you want to move to New Britain? Fuck no. They got a free apartment for you in New Britain. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Bridgeport. Same thing with Hartford, which is the state's capital. It has always been known as one of the latter armpits of Connecticut. It has, in comparison with all the other locales, including where I live at here, Fairfield County, Stafford, Greenwich Line. Now, this is the thing. I saw and listened to that man, Mr. Fuentes, as he was, and I refer to him as that because if I say his whole name, the algorithm comes in and it goes crazy because he was banned off of YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys, far right wingers, etc., or people that are a little bit extra with their conversation, they end up getting removed from YouTube. Sometimes it's not justifiably, but a lot of times that's what happens. So he was banned from YouTube as far as being a content creator. He wasn't banned from YouTube as far as being and appearing on other people's platforms, which many of the people that seem to be aligned with Fresh and Fit have the same problem. This includes Sneeko. This includes, God bless his heart, Mr. Tate, I'm going to say his name like that, and a few others that they have come over to their channel because their channel, and in my perfect belief, and I'll say the same thing that Duke O'Shea Jackson said, I think you guys might be in danger of getting removed the fuck up off of here. What you did was irresponsible, Byron. And you know it was irresponsible. And you're ha and kiki, and I'm telling you somebody from the town, all right? This town business. This is Connecticut talk to you, your home state, all right? What you did was fucking irresponsible. All right. And allowing that cocksucker to come on there, I don't know what your motive was, and might be a misfire by me. Maybe you invited him on because you wanted him to expose himself. That could be a possibility. Maybe you really don't like him and you just wanted that motherfucker on there so you could let him expose himself. But there's more than enough examples of Nick Fuentes, explaining who he is. After I did further research, I'll even say I'm guilty because there's a few what's the name? So you're going to find on my channel from Nick, which I'm going to go back and I'm going to remove. I'm going to remove. And this is when he aligned himself with Kanye West. And I want to say to Kanye West, and make sure if you don't hear this, Kanye, I'm sure Candace will allow you to hear it. Um, One of the fun, who's also from here in Connecticut, shout out to Candace Owens. She's from literally 15, 20 minutes away from me. Um, Give me a second. Now, I want to say this the right way. When that man uttered the word nigger, he didn't say nigger, he said nigger. And he was encouraged by the loudest three black women on that show. Three of them. Two other ones, they happened to be Dominican girls. I think they were from what's the name? They took their head. One of them that was sitting next on the side of Fresh, which is a darker skinned guy. She was in utter dismay, the Dominican girl. The black girl who was Haitian, I think she turned around and called one of the dudes, called him the C word. You understand? And there was another girl that you could visibly see who was, I don't even want to say it. She just seemed disturbed by what happened. And I know a lot of people, y'all don't like the tone and like the way that I do things or whatever. And that's quite fine. That's fine. I'm not here to defend black Americans right now. And I'm going to tell you why. So y'all don't even care your goddamn self. But you'll have people that will come into my podcast and they will be like, oh, you ain't right for saying that. You wrong for saying that. How you gonna say that? And a blah, 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 right? But at the same time, what did you say? What did you do? See, Nick Fuentes, he felt, shit, I fucking fucked up and said his name. Oh, Nicky boy there, he felt comfortable saying, oh, give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I got a little problem here. Let me fix this. There we go. Oh, Nicky boy there, he felt comfortable saying what he was saying because of the pure simple fact he knew that y'all wasn't going to do shit. I told y'all the other day before he said this, the reason that a lot of these motherfuckers are attacking y'all, and it seems like they're attacking you very much more ferocious, with more ferociousness, is because of the pure simple fact they think you're not going to do anything. The other day, I went over to someone that I call a mentor as far as me and my YouTube career here. Let me share this again. I want to get some more people in here. I'm trying to get some intelligent people in here that have some opinions. Most of these people, they'll just sit back like ghosts and watch you. So you have to get your audience in here. And hopefully YouTube will share you the algorithm because you are slaves to the YouTube algorithm and are slaves to YouTube itself, evidently. The reason this is going to happen, it's going to happen even more. And you're going to see it more here on YouTube. I've seen it more on other websites, other apps, where you've got these white men and white women. The white women seem to be more vocal than the white men. And they seem to have hash in attacking you, specifically the men, and with this fear mongering. You're not shit. You don't work. You don't do anything. I bust my ass on this channel and the other things I try to do on the internet. And I'll have somebody that just happens to be white and they'll work at a Dunkin' Donuts or the local McDonald's or the local coffee shop who doesn't even have a third of the work experience I've had, hadn't have a third of the life experiences I've had, and definitely has never seen a third of the money that I've seen in my life. And this person, based off race alone, will patent himself as better than me somehow or another in their mind, based off of skin tone. Little do they know, and they don't realize white is a mentality. So Mr. Fuentes, he's not a white individual, he's a Mexican. Hence, for the point that I was getting to you guys. You have now a whole bunch of people, and particularly, and I said this before, in the Middle Eastern culture, in some subsets of certain Latino cultures, specifically Latino cultures that come from islands that are exclusively nothing but what you would call mestizo or blanco, meaning they look Indian or they look white. I've had Latinos tell me and be surprised when I speak Spanish and be like, "Yo, I've never met anybody that look like you in your life." I have Latinos that live in this neighborhood and they speak to me in Spanish. They'd be like, "I never met nobody like you in my life." And the majority of them, they will mistake you as being something like European, French, Haitian. I get Panamanian. I get a lot. They will mistake you for that. But Black Latinos, they don't think like this. And so when they come to America, a lot of them already have these racist infrastructure already built into them from being a child. I've told you guys about this before because Nick Fuentes is Mexican. He's Mexican. He's not black. He's not white. He's Mexican. He's Mexican. And I just sat back and I said, this is somebody who has basically the same steam line as the people that we see right now, and I've covered the story before, at the Row Hotel, sleeping there for free. These are the people that I mentioned that are at the border right now and crying and hooping because they can't get across the border and they've got family here. These are the same people that are trying to escape every atrocity that you could think of that you would never witness here in the United States. And as a payback for many of these, and I hate to say it, Latino American activists, Latino American senators, state representatives, etc., and also inclusive of black representatives fighting their way, including Mayor Adams in New York City, to get these people to stay here, including an announcement he made today. And the way you pay back those people is coming back with your own form of bigotry. You don't know what I mean? Kanye West paid Nick Fuentes, the same man that uttered the nigger word on Freshandfit's podcast alongside a whole black panel. This man was paid over $200,000 by Kanye West. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this up. Give me 1 second. Let me get something to drink here. I can't make this up. This man was paid over $200,000 from Kanye West. So we go check Kanye West. See, the reason it's easy to do a lot of this shit and attack y'all so easily is because of y'all motherfucking dire devotion to being fucking famous, being seen, being somebody. And all those girls that sat right there on that panel, they all thought that they would get a plus and a one up, or this would be something miraculous. And ladies, you were right. Now you're caught right in the middle of controversy. You're caught right in the middle of controversy. And any little young girl, and I don't care if you are black or Latino, and you were laughing when he said the Nigee word on Fresh and Fit's podcast, I encourage everybody to see one of these little bitches and spit right the fuck on them. Treat these bitches like they ain't shit for the next fucking couple of years. If you were a man of color and them bitches were laughing and they come to you later on trying to get a gig or whatever, buck the fuck up and tell them, look, nah, bitch, I remember you on Fresh and Fit. He, key, you thought it was funny. Now let's reverse it, right? Let's say, and I'm gonna say this for the better word, says Baby Lane Stanfield, Baby Lane, East Harlem, huh? So anyway, I think I know who that is. Long story short, let's reverse it, and let's say that it was a group of, let's say, 4 black men and 3 Latino men, and they were sitting at that same fucking what's the name, that same thing, right? And no. Let's say this. Let's say the same scenario, same thing with women. And there was a man sitting at the top, and he happened to be a black man. And he said, yo, you know what? You're a bunch of nigger bitches. The response would have been different. Oh my God, everybody would have been talking about it then. Oh my God, he attacked these black women and blah, 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 blah. See, there's a momentum within the black and brown community to demonize men of color. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you're a dark-skinned Latino man, just men in general are being demonized. But there's an extra effort to demonize and normalize shit that's not narrowly normalized. Myron, I don't give a fuck what you say. Boy, you from right here in motherfucking Connecticut. You know the setup here, so stop the bullshit. You know that shit don't fly. And if he would have said that shit in the drop of New Britain, he wouldn't have made it out that motherfucker. He said it around you niggas, and you motherfuckers, and Byron, I ain't calling you a punk or nothing because you know how to handle a pistol. But what I'm telling you is, he said it around you motherfuckers because y'all peer soft. That's why I don't do that shit on here. Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Fuck you. Fuck you. That soft shit is the reason why that y'all motherfuckers in the soft tone, that's not the way that men operate in society. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, look at the situation that's going on in the Ukraine and Russia right now. Do they look like they're trying to get along diplomatically? Look at Myron's own country in Sudan. This today, y'all motherfuckers had warlords and shit like that. Don't believe me? Go look at the news right now. Come on back. Just today in Sudan, they had warring fractions over there. So let's not pretend, Myron, that the background that you come from is so civilized. These motherfuckers been fighting over there in Sudan for the past 35 fucking years. Are you out of your fucking mind? Where you come from in New Britain, Connecticut is literally terminized as the lower armpit of Connecticut, next to the big armpit, which they call Bridgeport. Is that fair? Now, if you guys don't believe me, go right into the community section right there. And what you're going to see is you're going to see some demographics I put up for both Sudan and their crime rates, et cetera, and New Britain, Connecticut, their crime rates, et cetera, et cetera. Go right there and look. Go right there and look. Also, there'll be a link where you can find out and listen for yourself exactly what Mr. Fuentes said on Fresh and Fit. And I was disgusted. That was the first time, and there's been a lot of things that have been on that show that have been kind of cringeworthy, but this was the first time that I ever spoke out against what you niggas did. Now, Fresh, I want to point you out because you know what? You got some fucking balls. And I salute you for this. Because when Myron was doing something else, right, what you did on Sneeko show too, I'll say that for a surprise later. Because if I talk about that right there, it would just people wouldn't even believe it. You did that to calm and condition the psyche of Black Americans. That is not your motherfucking job, sir. Because if I went to fucking Sudan right now and I tried to calm the temperament of Sudanese people and their warring, which I'm pretty sure that's how your family initially got here in the first place, because of the warring and tearing between the infractions of different tribes, different political backgrounds, et cetera, that go on in Sudan and have gone on in Sudan for the past 35, 45 years. You have a coup going on right now as we speak in your country. So instead of talking about what African Americans and Latino Americans and Black women should now calm themselves down and you dictating your own brand of what you feel is a utopia and shit, why don't you talk about your own motherfucking country? And when you talk about Sudan, don't talk about Sudan in the light of how you want it to appear to the rest of the world. Even though you have a nice GDP, I will give you that. But in the hints of it all, this is a war-torn fucking country that we're talking about, all right? And the only reason that you're so eloquently, just like Senator, what is her name? Elon Amar, whatever the fuck her name is, who's also from that area. You guys, seemingly, when you get to America, you forget about all the atrocities and everything that's happening over in your country and start putting on this acting role and pretending like everything is just good and great. Now, I don't want to take away from any man's accomplishments. Byron, as far as the work history is concerned, has been impediment as far as the United States is concerned. He worked at the forces and everything else, and I salute you for that. I would never take that away from you. But, sir, you sound kind of odd, and I have to say this. Not being a native-born American. And some people are trying to put across this fucking thing. Like, my dad wasn't a native-born American. Was he an American citizen? Yes. But there's a distinct difference between a native-born United States citizen and a naturalized U.S. citizen. There's a very big difference. And you'll find that difference when you get into higher echelons of government, federal, court, cops, you name it. You're going to find out. And if you need an example of that, just look at the border right now. Just look at the price things that Donald Trump had said about the border. In reference to Nick Fuentes even having the audacity to come out and call somebody a nigger. Not nigger, Neggr. He made sure he did that. And what did we say to Kanye West, who paid this motherfucker $200,000 for his consultation? But yet and still, this is why I be telling y'all about these rap niggas and all that. And I defended Kanye heavily. Yeah, y'all don't understand how this sequence is out. Kanye West hired this motherfucker that was on Fresh and Fit's podcast and said Nigger. And like I said, Fresh and Fit, I hope it was a dupe. I hope y'all invited him on just so he could expose himself of what he really was. I hope it was a psych guy. You used to be a cop or in the field, so it might have been a psych. I might be completely wrong. But for what I saw, from what I heard, anywhere else, Nick Fuentes, you wouldn't have came to the middle of the Bronx at 2 o'clock in the morning and said that shit. You wouldn't have made it out. You wouldn't have came to Brooklyn at 1 o'clock in the morning and yelled at all these niggas. See, people that do this shit, they do it in safe environments. That's my point. See, I have people in the town that I live at, usually they're just jealous of me or, can't figure out how I look the way I look or what I am, or they think I'm soft for some reason or another because of the way I dress. And I'm like, you're gonna find out something fucking different, trust me, which many people have. But I had to ask myself this. If you are a person that is taking advantage and basically aligning yourself with people in another world that basically wouldn't even like you, and you're brown or you're black, and you're trying to make this look as a staplet to getting to whatever goal you're trying to get to, at that point, sir, I'm gonna have to say you just like the rest of them. You a weak motherfucker. You a cow toe. You a coon. You a tap dancer. Now, one thing I will say about Fresh, when Myra did something particular, and I thought it was just going overboard, but maybe that might have been part of his psych op. I remember Fresh adamantly saying and repeating 4 times, I'm not part of this. I'm not part of this. And Fresh almost looked hurt. And Fresh didn't come from that background. He comes from the Barbados, which they had British colonization there, but at the same time, he was familiar enough to know this is not funny. This is not funny. And you hurt a lot of people, Byron, by allowing that cocksucking motherfucker to be on there and say what the fuck he said. Fuck Nick. And Nick, I'm gonna tell you honestly and truthfully, right? And you can take this fuck way you want to. Go tell the police or whatever the fuck case may be. I'll bring the video clip as evidence. Sir, my PTSD overreacted. I don't know, officer. I don't know, judge. That's what everybody does, right? Nick, if me or the fellas ever see you in New York City, be by yourself. Don't have no motherfucking guards with you. Don't have your homeboys with you. Nothing like that. And I want to see if you say that shit to me. I want to see if you say that shit to the fellas I know. And like you and I both know you ain't. You ain't. So you say that shit in, safe environments. Nobody will bother me here. If I say it here, somebody will break it up. Nah, nigga, say that shit in the middle of the street. Say that shit on 149th and 3rd Ave. Say that shit in the middle of some of the projects of Brooklyn. Say that shit in Guy Bailey over at motherfucker, Guy Brew over in motherfucking Queens. Say it there. You won't say it there. If you brought 10 motherfuckers down there with you, they wouldn't say it down there. And you know why? Because you scared in any other circumstance. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't either way this go, whether it was Nick or whether it was Fresh and Fit initiating the psych op here, both of them were either playing each other or both of them knew the conclusion of what would happen. That's the part we got to get to the discussion about. I don't give a fuck about them bitches that were sitting at the table laughing or not laughing. You know why? Because them bitches would sell everybody out in the room for an opportunity to motherfucking shine. Please believe that. So even though they're scumbags too for encouraging it and laughing at it or whatever the case may be, I've got another part of this conversation I'm going to bring to your attention, ladies, because I'm really upset at the fact that y'all haven't said anything. See, we get on here all the time and we talk about this. I haven't been in Hey, haven't been on in a while. Hey, 305 Capricorn, nice to see you, sweetheart. And guys, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit up. This is a donation drive as well. Make sure you hit the Cash App $ STRINGERBELL80. I'm trying, I was trying to walk away from situations like this because I spend a lot of time, I feel in my heart, and I think a lot of people will agree, trying to quote unquote not be a hotep, but take up for the culture. And instead of donating monetarily and supporting this channel or whatever, they'll go to somebody else's channel that's talking about completely nothing and or just rehashing gossip, and they will give thousands of dollars to them. And I just don't understand that. So guys, make sure if you're a daily supporter, you come and return here, hit the like button right now for me. It will help me out. If you don't want to donate, I can at least get some people to hit it too. Does that make sense? Is that hard to do? And if you don't want to do that, you might as well be sitting at the table with Nick Fuentes, right? Because you're a separatist. You cannot have togetherness if you encourage separatism amongst your own. For the guys of being monetarily compensated and reaching on top of everybody else. And that seems to be where y'all focal point is. And this is why motherfuckers like Nick Fuentes can pop up, say what he says, and nobody says nothing. And this is why I said the other day, especially amongst the men, you motherfuckers might be cowards, and that's how you're being perceived. You're being perceived as cowards. I saw 4 black men in that fucking room with Myron, and all of them were he, and had nothing to say. I got a woman, it was a British American woman that was here that I took up for the other day or whatever. I didn't know this woman for a can of paint. I didn't even know she was British until she started talking. The only thing I saw was a black woman, and I came to her defense physically. You understand? In that same live, because she said it out of her own admission. You understand? It's on videotape. I'll add it in the what's her name. People that were here live that day, they heard it, whatever the case may be. It was very shameful, baby Lane. I just can't, I'm scared now because I'm like, let me share this real quick, make sure I get some more people in here because, you know, the folks, the squad, the culture, whatever, has been so duped into this paying attention to gossip that the ones that are in the matrix, you can't get them out of it. So I ain't trying to save them. I'm just here talking to the people that want to listen. I'm not trying to say the people that's in the matrix. The people in the matrix are the ones that are talking about the same thing they involving and engaging themselves in. They speaking against the same thing they involving and engaging themselves in. So you can't save them people. Let them die. I'm sorry to put it like that, but let them die because that's what's going to happen to them anyway. Let them die. Fucked up as that sound, let them go. If you don't have anything to say about what Nick Fuentes said on Freshandfit's podcast, or you're not angry about it, or whatever the case may be, and you feel like, oh, we're all inclusive, we're all the same, shouldn't we get rid of some of these words and all this fake woke culture bullshit or whatever? And put me on record as this, I'm anti-woke culture. Fuck you, pussy. You know what I mean? Like, I just am. I'm anti communism, which it seems to be a whole in play nowadays within black culture, where we have people pointing and telling people, you can't say that, but they won't go over and tell somebody like Nick Fuentes anything. I'll have a motherfucker come here and leave in my chat room or leave in my motherfucking comments. You need to do this, like that guy BK Hip Hop Brooklyn or whatever, nigga. It's been 122 hours. You still ain't donated. But you telling me you need to get better equipment. You guys are not together, and you don't support each other unless you're talking or deducing someone. And because of that, you're easy to attack. And I just told y'all this the night before last, well before he said this. And y'all still don't want to listen. Oh, he's only one person. No, he has a whole fucking army behind him. That's what you don't get. Who you got behind you? Gossipers. Niggas that can't even load a gun, clean a gun, fire a gun. Who you got for you is back? Bitch ass niggas is on your block that'll fight another black man, a Latin man, and then scream, yeah, I got that nigga. Da, 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 da. But when the Klan come marching in town, they ain't got nothing to say. What's up, Philly? Y'all had the Klan come down there and march 3-4 times, but yet y'all on the motherfucking scepter trains down there shooting at each other, killing each other. Y'all appear weak. And it appears to other people that nobody, including nobody, shout out to that one motherfucker that's logged off. I must have offended you. You must be one of them bitch ass niggas I'm talking about. You must be one of them bitch ass niggas I'm talking about. Ladies, I hate to say this, But the majority of you that are single parents, and I'm going to put this at about 65 to 70%, and you've never had your child around their uncles, their big cousins that's successful, shit like that, your son 9 times out of 10 is a fucking pussy. And your daughter 9 times out of 10 is a fucking whore. And these two weak motherfuckers, when they get together, the only thing these two weak motherfuckers know how to do is procreate and create havoc, evidently. And they create so much havoc within each other that people outside of it look at it and they perceive it as being nothing but destruction. And you'll say it's an answer to yourself to make yourself feel better. Well, who cares about what they think? Well, the factor is you're only 14% of the population, and these motherfuckers that are talking vividly are 62%. Then some of y'all want to revert back to the we shall overcome days and say, well, let's hold hands. Da, 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 da. These motherfuckers will kill you. Do you not understand that? Did you not see what happened in Buffalo, New York, when that white boy walked up into that grocery store and shot 10 people and nobody did nothing? Nobody went home and got their shit and came back. In Buffalo, trust me, they get down up there. Nobody went home and got their gun. Nobody went and got the extendo. Nobody went and got the AK. Nobody went and got the 50 cal. Nobody went and did nothing. You know what they did? They sat there and let the police handle it like good little Negroes. Y'all niggas is weak. How come there isn't a motherfucker out there right now talking about, yo, we need to motherfucking kidnap Nick? Y'all scared. Y'all scared. All that tough shit y'all talk, all that program. Where the hoteps at on this? I ain't heard Sonetta say nothing. I ain't heard nobody even remotely in that sector say a goddamn thing about this same subject. And because of your reluctantness of not saying anything, this shit is going to continue and it's going to get worse. And you're not going to see any of it because of all your celebratory bullshit that y'all are doing. Oh, let's get to the bag. Let's get to the money. Da, 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 da. Ask Fat Joe how quick your motherfucking money can go. Huh? Ask Nas how quick your money can go. Y'all just don't get it. As y'all have y'all concentration on all these little niches and all this little bullshit and all this battle at the top of the hill about who's the poorest and now the most successful. I said the same thing about Casanova. I'm glad that person just logged out, whoever it was. Hope you have fun creating a live for yourself. But because that's how niggas do. They'll come in here for a few minutes. They don't want to hear this type of talk. I'm not gossiping. You got to understand that. This is where the average black mind is. It's about gossiping. This is why if you keep continuing to pay attention to niggas like this, is always gossiping all the time. And I'm not, like I said, there's certain people that have places like that, but if that is your modus operandi all the time or whatever, more shit like this is going to happen. In fact, I'll go as far as to say what happened on Fresh and Fit was a setup to let you know what's coming. See, Nick Fuentes, what he did was because of their viewership rate, he sounded the horn. And because of so many other white vloggers that seem to be up in rage about what he said versus the black vloggers that just continue with their regular day. Hey, you heard what Carisha did? Did you hear about this? Should have been a #1 trending story today. But it wasn't. And it won't be. And this is why I said, and I'll continue to say this, I cannot sit on the side of See, even as I was talking about this, you notice that it just went down and it went down and it went down more. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not worried about YouTube. I'm really not. I'm really not. I don't get any financial support here, really. Um, what I've noticed is a new channel that I have or whatever, I have way better batch of people, way more intelligent people, way more engaging people, where the people here, they're kind of like predatory, you know? Like I noticed that certain vloggers, I'm going to get back to the subject, but certain vloggers, they'll hop back and forth off people's shit to get an idea of what to talk about, or they won't want to do the research themselves. So what they'll do is they'll come back in somebody else's live, watch their shit, and then be like, okay, I'm gonna follow with this, and I'm just gonna pantomime what he said. Once again, weak culture. You don't want to do the work. So even though you see yourself all shiny and glowy, look at these diamonds I got on. You ain't see this new Bentley I bought. Da 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 da. Well, what's the use of being in Italy, Santini, or any of these places, and you the only fucking face that look like you there? What's the use of being a multimillionaire when you're one out of every 10,000? And your reluctantness to help your own or whatever, whatever. And many of y'all know I've been sitting up here for months now, trying at the minimum to raise $2,000. Even if I'm sitting here right now and I'm saying, and I don't even scream on my Cash App like that. I say, yo, guys, make sure you have the Cash App, $ STRINGERBELL80. But being the fact that I chose to get out of the gossiping field, I just kind of regulate that to clips and shit like that, you will not find no support. So, white folks, let me tell you something. If you're listening to this, these people prioritize themselves on narcissism. They are not going to stand up for you. And if you stand up against you, and if you attack them tomorrow, they would do nothing, most of them. Most of them would do nothing. You saw Nick say what he said. Nobody said nothing to prove my point. So I know what I say may sound a little harsh. What I say may come off a little brash. But am I wrong? Do you have another example you could present to me to defer the subject that I'm bringing up right now? I'll allow you to do so. And if your only defense is some, well, we won, we was kings. You ain't acting really kingly right now. Nick Fuentes just let the horn go and showed and exposed how weak you motherfuckers are. And ain't nobody got nothing to say. Nobody got nothing to say. Tell me some bloggers, except for two of them, which is O'Shea Duke Jackson and another, that have said something about this. None. I had Miss Foster. She sent me a link last night, and she was talking about, I didn't get the chance to look at it to today. And she sent me a link last night, and it was about Nosy Ho. And she's a blogger, and she's being attacked by Blueface and his gang for something with CP or whatever the case may be, or whatever. And I was just paying attention to that. I was just seeing how many people were engaged. And these people were so heavily engaged in that. They were more heavily engaged in that than they were about this motherfucker saying the N-word in front of an all-black cast. And nobody said nothing. In fact, at the end of it, bitches were taking pictures with this nigga Nick, kissing him. This one bitch that kissed him on the cheek. I'm like, yo, are you serious? So I go to show you what your women think about you. Your women don't even respect you or respect themselves for that matter. If they did, it wouldn't. The majority of them wouldn't be on the internet naked every day. Some of them for free. Shout out to Suki Hana. Let me share this so we can get some more intelligent people in here. I'm trying to drown out all the poppers and frauds and all those people. And if you are one of those people and you show up here, please, if you do not like what I have to say, you don't find yourself trying to donate or support this channel, especially when I need it and I'm working for it or whatever the case may be, or for my past work that I've done, please make it a thing to unsubscribe. As you log out and I want to hear what I have to talk about, just unsubscribe. Because if you're just coming here to get ideas for your own podcast, get ideas where you could take it and put it over there or whatever, you're not sharing, liking the post, anything like that, you're a voyeur. I would even go as far as to say you may be, if you're a man, homosexual, especially two, I'm pretty sure, homosexual men that come to my page every single day and fucking flag shit. And I'm going to get into that in the end because I had another flag today. This is why I said, I can't get mad so much at Nick because, hell, hey, look how these motherfuckers treat me, and I'm part of them. You understand what I'm saying? Look how they treat me. You understand? So, like I said the other day, and I'll say it again, and that if you still here, you were with me when I said it that day. I said, and it was raining outside. Many of y'all remember this. I said, yo, these motherfuckers are cowards. They're scared. Nobody's rushing Nick right now. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to that boy that said that shit. They're not gonna do nothing. And they know you're not gonna do nothing. And that's why he felt comfortable saying it. And the fact that y'all have people that are in your culture, people that are in, that's what I remember. You have people that are in your culture, part of your culture, whatever, whatever. Just because of the pure simple fact they're not gossiping, they're not doing any of that shit. You find it in yourself to say, I'm not gonna donate to them, or I'm gonna steal from them, or borrow from them, or pantomime what they have to say. And I'll use it for my own. You have no engagement as far as sharing. You have no engagement as far as partnering up. If you do partner up, you partner up to take down someone that looks exactly like you on the internet. When y'all should be partnering up right now and taking down fucking Nick Fuentes. That's what y'all should be doing. And you're not, and they're not going to do it. I just had another weirdo come in here and then log off or whatever. It is That's the way these folks are. And that's why I said a lot of people in the African American and Latin community start looking at people in the Latin American and African American community for who they really are, not who you want them to be. None of those hotep motherfuckers that sit around all goddamn day long and take money from you silly motherfuckers, but yet still y'all will donate to me. You understand? I'm not even gonna get into that because I done been when Malcolm X was killed, that film for y'all. I done been in Seneca Village where it was the first African American establishment in the United States and helped y'all out. Like I've done a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like none of that gets rewarded. I can't even get a motherfucker to donate to me because they don't like because I had a fresh white t-shirt on the other day. Well, he can't be doing that bad off. He got a white t-shirt on. This is the mentality of these stupid motherfuckers. And this is why it's so easy to engage and assault you. And y'all think y'all winning amongst each other. Y'all sit around and act like braggadocious or whatever, whatever. And if you're somebody that just came in or whatever, please unsubscribe from my channel. Please stop coming here peeping me like a fucking warrior homosexual and just leave. And I don't mean nothing against the LBGT community. I mean, if you're here day after day after day, you're not helping, especially on a subject like this, then just log the fuck off. Don't come back. Unsubscribe, please. I'll give you a moment to. And that's why I go into the irate and mental instability of these motherfuckers. I done said now on this channel 4 or 5 times. Listen, if you can't donate, you can't share, you can't hit the like button, which those two things are for free. Sharing and hitting the like button is for fucking free. You can't do that. Just unsubscribe. But yet, I'll still have these same motherfuckers that will come back day after day and they will peek me. And then the problem is, they don't realize I can see some of you motherfuckers. You know how? At the end of the week, YouTube Studio gives me a report and they show me random motherfuckers that I didn't know was following me. I look at their shit and they give me the emblem and all that shit of them. And I say, well, some of them have their name. And I've gone and I've blocked like 20 something of them. So even if you sit back in silence, sooner or later, I'm going to find out who you are. Thank God for YouTube Studio doing what they did. I mean, literally, it's a carousel. Anybody that knows YouTube Studio knows what I'm talking about. It's a carousel of motherfuckers I had never seen before. And I go in and I've also gone in and looked at my subscribers individually and started removing people that look suspect, or people that don't speak or don't say anything or just weirdos. Let me share this again. Nobody wants to say anything about Nick Fuentes. You know why? Because what they're doing now is every last motherfucker that came in here earlier, they're now going to go and they're going to say on their podcast, including the ones that are hiding, because some of you big YouTubers that come checking me out and you hide. I don't get that. Like, it's just weird. So this just wrapping this up because I don't want to talk about this much, and I'm not getting paid for this. So like, be quite honest with y'all. Fuck all y'all. You know what I mean? Like, this is not my place anymore. I've got a new home. I've got a new channel. I'll probably throw this up on there, whatever. So just for the sake of the matter, for my other channel, fuck you too. Because you motherfuckers allowed this motherfucker to say what he said, and y'all did not take that post down. You understand what I'm saying? And Freshandfit, I'm sorry. I'm not going to fucking side with you on this one. You understand? And if you continue to take that side, and I'll say like this, Myron and Candace Owen, you both are two weak motherfuckers. Because the pure simple fact, neither one of y'all from the state, and Candace more so than him. You're from here, right here in Stanford. You're worth millions of dollars. Yet and still, you think I can get Candace Owens to donate 10 grand, 5 grand to me? No. You think Myron, he's a multimillionaire. You think that motherfucker would donate $1,000, $2,000 to me? No. Matter of fact, in the millions and millions of dollars that most of these larger YouTubers make, like this guy and Candace Owens or whatever, they don't give a goddamn cent to anybody that's like me or any other regular podcaster. You can forget about it. They don't care. You understand? So don't make the mistake of gravitizing to these YouTube personalities when in reality they don't give a shit about you. You understand? Most of them, they don't even fucking like care about the culture or anything else. They get money drunk. You understand? And I think that's what's happening with Fresh and Fit. And you boys, you better be careful because sooner or later you may crush yourself, especially you, Myron. I know you can shoot. I know you used to be armed forces or whatever, whatever. Every cowboy got a gun. I get it. But listen, man, being here from the state and especially where you from in New Britain, which is like low end trash area. You understand what I'm saying? Like even where I live at right now, my nigga, is like it's not what I'm used to. You know what I mean? I had to do a lot of acquisition where I live at right now. I don't have a deck anymore. I don't have a pool anymore. I don't have the beach where I can walk across the street anymore. Like I had to do a lot of acquisition as far as like living where I lived at. But where you're from, Myron, from Fresh and Fit, is the fucking pits. And your goddamn mayor out there, he got like he's still in jail for molesting little girls. So I mean, like you don't have a great history out there in New Britain, more, and there's a lot of other towns that don't either. It's just I don't know. It's just unfortunate. Isn't it weird how people? I've watched like as I'm sitting here. I don't mean to get off topic real quick, but I watched here as people they'll come in, they'll peep in, and then they'll just jump out. Like what the fuck is that weird shit about? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like something mentally wrong, in my opinion, with black and Latin people nowadays. A lot of whites too, but black and Latin people in particular. Like even with Myron and Fresh is sitting there and they're just like encouraging this motherfucker to say nigga. Or this black people to come in or Latin people to come in and they peep you. What are you talking about? And they don't acknowledge the chat rule, don't say anything. Just sit there and just float in this. Don't hit the like button or nothing. This is why I told y'all YouTube is not the place anymore. Y'all gonna find out sooner or later on your own, but I'm making a jump now. You can't make any money on here. The blacks on here, they don't want to allow you to make that. I'm gonna say this. There's a thing where in most of white America, y'all ain't gonna understand this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. There's a thing on here with black and Latin America where they are very jealous of each other. Okay. They are very jealous of each other. They are very nasty towards each other. They are very disingenuous amongst each other. And these are all caused a bubble. And this bubble is ready to be popped at any time. And in their, how can I say, in their delusion of inclusion, they are missing the point that there's a whole bunch of motherfuckers out there like Nick Fuentes and other people that back them that are ready to make their move on you. And you better take some of them that money and buy some guns. I listened to a motherfucker the other day, and I'm not gonna say your bitch ass name, you fat Irish fucking prick, son of a bitch, cocksucker, motherfucker. I'm not gonna say your name, but I'm gonna say where you frequent at. So shout out to the Star Report, nigga. Lock this in your mind, all right? All the mother niggas over there, they playing with you, homie. I'm not playing with you. All right. If you ain't never believed nothing else in your motherfucking life, believe that. They playing with you. They giggy with you. Nigga, I already got the drop on you. I know where to find you. I know where you live at. And I'm trying to play it easy for you because I'm trying to respect the Star Report. You understand? Well, make no motherfucking mistake about it, nigga. If I wanted you, I could have you. You understand? If I want you, I could get you. So keep that in your mind, all right? Because you're another one of these motherfucking white guys that comes up on black programs and feels like you can say what the fuck you want to say. And you said everything in part by via saying nigga or whatever the hell else you've been saying on the program too, you bitch ass motherfucker. Now you keep on talking the way you talking and thinking everything easy and thinking everything all right. Like, cool, go ahead. Go ahead. I encourage you to. I encourage you. Carry on, all right? Because I'm not going to sit here and threaten you or nothing like that. I'm just going to say, if I wanted you, I could get you. Now, you could take that down to the precinct down there in Manhattan if you like to, buddy. Anyway, because I don't like bitch ass niggas. You'll say shit on the internet that you won't say offline. And I was over there at one of the places I frequent. I share this man's post. You understand what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he don't share my post. I'm pretty sure he would never donate to me. I'm pretty sure half of the niggas that y'all see in my community section that I share, they all talk about this black togetherness shit. Go ask every last person that you see in my community section. Ask them motherfuckers how many times they donated to somebody that looked like me. Ask them. Ask them how come they never donated to motherfuckers that share them. Ask them. And they're gonna give you some lackadaisical fucking excuse, or they're gonna try to pretend like they men. Oh, well, the real man. Da, da, da. Nobody lives under the template in this country of black and Latin men. Nobody. Everybody knows the equate of this country is emulating white culture. So you sound like a fucking fool to a broader audience. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Annette, I know you still here. You notice everybody jumped out. They wanted to see what I had to say. Am I saying anything crazy? No, I'm talking up for the folks. They don't care. They don't care, Annette. I told you, they don't care. So the only thing you could do for these motherfuckers is let them die out. And that's what I'm prepared to do. Now, for those people that want to really be part of an army, those people that really want to be part of something that's a solution and how to change things. You'll never change most people if they're fucking, what's the name, if they're racist or whatever the case may be. But what you will be able to do is change the direction in which you're going. That's the internet courage, because face to face, they scared as hell. Yo, or some real shit. Like, it took me like, and his old people told on him. That's the funny thing about it. Yo, homie, if you hear this, your old people told on you. Because the only thing I did was I found your page, went to the comments section. I found one nigga that knows you. You understand what I'm saying? You need to check your people. I found one person to know you. They gave up the whole spiel. I was like, yo, I'm trying to find homie because I'm trying to link with him to do a podcast. He was like, yo, he over here. I was like, what? My man's it was right up the block. Get out of here. Like literally a train block away. And you sitting over there, I know you ain't on the block over there talking like that. They would have washed you by now. Well, maybe not in that neighborhood. Maybe not in that neighborhood. Yeah, we gonna have to take him off the block, y'all, if we do that. Anyway, hmm, yeah, I hate niggas be sitting around thinking they can't get touched. That's my specialty. I'm professional. You ain't know? That's my specialty. I've been doing that shit since I was 14 years old, nigga. Fuck out of here. Anyway, that's all I had to say about Nick Fuentes. Um, I really am not going to sit here for the next hour and advocate for the culture. I'm not going to do any of that because I was sitting down in the goddamn rain the other day, going to the grocery store, and a motherfucker wouldn't drop a dime to my Cash App. So, what the fuck should I sit here and defend the culture? I'm going to where Malcolm X was goddamn killed and the place was closed, and I still made sure I got through the story. Nobody appreciated me. I went to the fucking Natural Museum of History and covered the whole entire goddamn Black and Latin exhibit there, and you didn't have to pay any money to get in. Nobody donated $5 for me to get a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? So, why the fuck should I care? Dick Fuentes, keep saying what the fuck you saying, in my opinion. These motherfuckers don't care. They're not talking about it. They're not talking against it. All the usual hoteps, they receive thousands and thousands of dollars from these poor people, but yet still they have an overripe fucking deed to not donate to me, not like my post, but y'all sit here and want to listen to me, which is weird enough with itself. You know what I'm saying? And as I'm learning more and more, this only thing I got to do is just daily go back to my YouTube studio and look at the names that are not engaging and not involved and not donating. Just block them motherfuckers. Because the reason you're here is because what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying is the truth, but you won't admit it to yourself. And that fact that you won't admit it to yourself is making you reluctant to donate into the channel. So why should I sit here and defend people that don't even support somebody that looks just like them? But if I was part of the Jewish community right now, I'd be like, look, Mr. Barowitz, I need to borrow 10,000. You know what Mr. Barowitz would tell me? Here's the 10,000. Don't worry about it. You don't have to pay back interest. That's the way of Jewish people. I can go to some Italians right now and see, yo, listen, I need to borrow $4,000. All right, well, just make sure you give me 4,500 back. You see what I'm saying? Niggas are so jealous of each other, they won't even allow another person that same opportunity. And this is why I say, I do want to continue on something. I've been thinking some thought, and that I remember you asked me this, and you said this or whatever, whatever, and I had to think about it because I didn't say it in this guise, but I'm gonna say it like this now. I don't have any kids, right? But one thing I know based on the current, and I'm talking about the current climate right now, and I was in this conversation with a female friend of mine because she asked me why I have no kids or whatever, whatever. And I said to myself, based off the fact, and I said this based off the fact of today, for one, that nobody's talking about this Nick Fuentes thing. All right. Nobody's talking about it. All your favorite hoteps are talking about blackity, 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 black. It's not talking about a Mexican man getting on a fucking black podcast calling somebody a nigga in front of a whole bunch of black women. And nobody has anything to say because they want to protect black women. You have that's the mama, you know what I'm saying? Because so many of these bitch ass niggas been raised by a single mom that's the only person. You'll never hear most of these bitch ass niggas talk about their daddy. They talk about mama. You know what I'm saying? They ain't been off mama's titty yet. You understand what I'm saying? These are not even men in my accord. I left the house when I was 17 fucking years old. They never went back. Some of these niggas are still living with their mama at 32, 33 years old, or their replacement mama, which is their girlfriend, sleeping on the couch and shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because she mad at him because he came in for the third night in a row at 2 o'clock in the morning. You understand? Nigga, if you hanging out to 2 o'clock in the morning and shit, it's like these guys are, they're weird, man. But this is my point. And y'all can put me on record for saying this, all right? Put me on record for saying this in this climate and the way that this culture is, and the backwards ass kissing fucking Massa, please pick me to put me on YouTube. Massa, please pick me. I'm the first black person that did this, Massa. Y'all mentality is so much like that. I almost find it that I cannot afford to have myself procreate and have a child with a black woman. And I'll tell you why. Not because of the woman. No, 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 no. It has nothing to do with that. I can have a beautiful, I've had a child by a black woman before. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with something else. Based on the climate that I see and I foresee getting worse, I would know that that child or children wouldn't have anybody to have their back when they needed it. I know that that child would be in imminent danger in any community that was inclusive of those motherfuckers that's like that. And I have to be aware of that. Why? Because I would love my child. You understand? And many of y'all that live in these deplorable neighborhoods, y'all know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. The black kids will sit back and they will watch you get your ass whooped and film it. By the police, by the streets, whoever. They don't care about you. And don't make no mistake that they do, because they don't. They don't. I have motherfucking black dudes and Latin dudes that walk past me and look at me like I'm supposed to have the fear of God in me of them. But they won't do that to a white police officer. They won't do that to Nick Fuentes, who sat on a black podcast and uttered the word nigga proudly, encouraged by black women. The same ones that are giving birth. The same ones that some of these women have children and sons and sit online night after night on YouTube, and they do nothing but bash men of color. And they get donation after donation after donation after donation after donation. Now, I know that's some harsh words to say, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't want my kid inclusive of that community, because I know my kid is at risk of being harmed. And nobody's going to have his back, because you can see that. Their own women get beat up and they don't even fucking intervene. That black British woman that I intervened in her thing that happened at the drugstore, which I heard her out of her own lips say, well, her friend said, that's a real man. Because I stepped in when some motherfucker was being this a little too abusive and using his little muscles that he thought he had. Nigga, I don't give a fuck how much you work out. I will lay you the fuck out. I know where to hit you at. I love when a big motherfucker try to fight me. Many people, if y'all know me in person, I love when a big nigga challenges me, because I know exactly where to hit you, to drop you, What it don't even like niggas be surprised when it happened too, because I know exactly where to hit you. There's three ports that I could hit you at, and you gonna drop, irregardless if they connect. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? So I never be worried about that. You know what I mean? My mans and them know a nigga had to sucker punch me because he knew he couldn't whoop me. You know, I'm not worried about that. I'm just more so worried about this. Moving forward, 5 years, 10 years from now, many of y'all gonna be under attack. And you're gonna be under attack more frequently. And your children are gonna be under attack as well. And your children, and I think about this sometimes even when I'm walking around, because sometimes people mistaken me for being younger than I actually am, right? And I am young, but I'm not 19, 20 years old young, you know? And so some people will mistake me for being in like my early 30s, something like that, whatever, whatever. And they will treat me accordingly, like, funny style. And I'll be thinking to myself, I'll be like, what if that was my son? You know what I'm saying? And he didn't know how to defend himself because mentally he hadn't, you know what I mean, reached that pinnacle. And I said, you know what the funny thing is? Nobody would intervene. So if you jump on somebody Latino or whatever, everybody's going to intervene. Jump on somebody's Polish, jump on somebody's Italian, jump on somebody's Chinese. They'll all intervene. You jump on a black American, unless they know that motherfucker or he's part of their gang, they ain't doing nothing. Nothing. And all those people I said will be inclusive and jumping in, it could be a stranger. Your hate and hatred of each other is all coming back to bite you in the ass. And these demonic motherfucking children that 60 to 65% of single mothers have raised, not all single mothers, but 60 to 65% of them in Black and Latin culture are some of the worst motherfuckers in the world. And for them two people that just logged off, I don't give a fuck, because there was 4 bitches sitting at that table that were black when Nick Fuentes said what he said, and he ain't do nothing. They ain't do nothing but sit there and giggle and shit and encourage him to do it. So what the fuck am I thinking about the product that them bitches procreate and produce to the world? Answer that shit for me, since you so angry and shit. See, that's another thing about this Nick Fuentes thing. A lot of motherfuckers want to come in and defend these motherfucking bitches. Fuck them black bitches. Fuck them black bitches. Those were little black bitches. If they were white, they'd be little white bitches. If they were Latin, they'd be little Latin bitches. Fuck them little black bitches. Because they sat there and they giggled and he. And every last one of them bitches that was sitting at that table got an uncle, a cousin, or brother that looked just like them. And they did it out of the fact of being accepted. Oh, you can't. Oh man, ain't nothing like a nigga that want to be accepted. That's why I be trying to tell y'all this thing. I'll be explaining to y'all. It is a difference between motherfuckers that have always been around white folks and they know how to interact with them and they know how to maneuver around them. And there's a difference between them and the ones that don't get around white folks till they're like 18, 19 years old. Now they just cooning and brown nosing because they're trying to fit in, or what they think is fitting in, or an episode of a TV show they saw or some shit like that. So they think that's the way to act. You know how many motherfuckers I see in public be trying to act out TV shows? Especially a lot of Latinos. Oh my God. Oh my God, how are you? What's your name? Maria Cortez. I'm like, bitch, are you on drugs or what? You know what I'm saying? Especially when I see Latin men, they try to pass themselves off as being white men. I said, good luck with that in that tan, because I can know what you're a mile away. And most white people do too. They just laugh at the gist of letting them pretend who they want to be or whatever, whatever, because they look at them as subservient. They did the same thing to African Americans in this country at one time. A lot of newly arrived Latinos, even Latinos who've been here for a generation or two, don't understand this. They did the same thing with African Americans. It's just your turn. And little do you know, you're subservient too. You'll do anything somebody white come in. And I hate this position where motherfuckers try to come in and act like they running shit. You're not running shit. You're not running shit. If I go down to INS, most of you be out of here by tomorrow. I come from a military family. If I went to INS, Immigration and Naturalization, and I made a complaint about you or whatever, you'd be gone by tomorrow, or at least investigated by tomorrow. I know this for a fact. People that did it to my dad before. You understand? So let's not make no motherfucking hits or guesses about this shit. This is a problem that's bigger than there's a few individuals that were sitting at that table. This is a problem that's coming to you further and quicker than you ever would have thought. And your conversations about gossiping about who's sleeping with who, your conversations about who need to be straightened out, who need to be brought down and told, or your conversations about don't donate to that nigga, he ain't with us. Nigga, fuck you. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is I spent well over, I don't know, probably the past 3 years now on this motherfucker, right? And I have come up here and had all kinds of discussions with y'all, including this discussion I'm having right now. And now y'all seeing it right in front of your face. And if you haven't seen the video, just go down to the description box right down below in this video. I put the post there. You can just click that link. Also, there will be my Cash App, $sign STRINGERBELL80. I appreciate if you would donate. I could use it. But of course they won't. But we all the culture, right? See how this is asinine at this point? This is why I say I don't fuck with here like that. I'll do one of these a week. You understand what I'm saying? This was worth talking about. But people are not going to donate to me because of pure simple fact they don't like how I said it. But they will continue to let motherfuckers go over there and donate to Freshandfit. You think they're going to interact with that? You think it's going to be a big thing that says, don't donate to Freshandfit anymore because Nick Fuentes came on there and said, nigga, you think they're going to do that? You think they're going to put the effort into that? Of course they won't. These niggas have picks. Thank you on that. These niggas have picks. You understand what I'm saying? And the cowards. Motherfuckers spend all day long. Reluctantly, they'll come in here right now. For y'all two people that just came in here, can y'all please hit the like button? So if even if y'all don't want to donate, support, or whatever the case may be, or share, I can get people in here to do. And if you can't do that, could you please unsubscribe? We don't need you here. You look like a voyeur at that point. So if you can't hit, let's give them a second to hit the like button. The other two people that came in here. Let's give them a second. I'm going to show y'all exactly what I mean. Just watch. Now you see that? I said, could you just hit the like button? And they wouldn't even do that. So what I'm trying to tell you guys, and I don't care who those two other people are, what I'm trying to tell you guys is these motherfuckers are not together. And all this fucking black excellence bullshit, bitch, if you can't go over there and say something to Nick Fuentes, if you can't hit the like button, if you can't hit the cash app, you're part of the problem too. You're just as bad as Nick Fuentes. See, people like you that won't hit the like button, won't hit the share button, won't hit the cash app, you're part of the problem. And why it's so easy for people like Nick Fuentes to say what he says, because you know what the perception of you is? They don't stick together. They don't help each other. They don't want to build a community. Only thing they want to do is sit around and gossip, complain, and chat about everybody else is rich. When you guys start getting that, that's what the bulk of black culture is nowadays. Not what it previously was. Not that it came from a bad state. But this is what the bulk of them are now. And they only donate to people that do that type of material. You see? So that's why when y'all see me get up here and I'm like, yo, how come nobody donate to my channel? Da, 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 da. It's because they're trying to punish me. They want to punish me, but they don't want to punish Nick Fuentes. Think about this. They want to punish me by telling people, don't donate to him. I'm not going to donate to him. I'm not going to hit the like button. They're silly people. They're childish people, to be right honest with you. Very childish, very belligerent, very nasty, benign people amongst each other. Not to other cultures. To other cultures, how you just sure you call me a nigger on Fresh Fit? You're so funny, Nick. Nick, let me get a picture with you. You know this bitch took a picture with this nigga after he had said what she said and she was kissing him on the cheek. And y'all think that's some people that's part of a culture that's normal? White folks, let me tell y'all something. If y'all really want to kick black people in the ass, as you can see right here, I had two of them in here. They still in here. They couldn't even hit the like button. Donate to my cash app, $sign STRINGERBELL80. You know why I say this? I tell y'all that because blacks and Latinos are not going to help me out. As far as what I'm saying, they don't like to hear. They like to hear things that make them feel like they're in the good guys and the good space or whatever. And most of these people, for the latter pack of better words, pieces of shit. Like seriously. And that's why I made mention I would never at this point in 2023 and beyond, I would never, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I would never initially and intentionally go out and try to have a child by a black woman. Even though my child will be half Cuban and half black, I would not. Because the community that these people have set up or whatever is this full of like this bullshit. Like they don't care about each other. They don't support each other. They don't talk about real issues. They just talk about like real childish high school type of shit. You can see this based on the diatribes they have daily here on YouTube. And the people that listen to them, they're stuck in the same headspace too. They want to be entertained 24 hours a day and never take anything seriously. And this is why what happens to you continues to happen to you. It's happened to you. It's happened to your grandmothers. It's happened to your mothers. It's happened to your aunts. It's happened to many of you. And by the trajectory, it'll be happening for the next 20 years. And your grandchildren will go through it. Your children will go through it, etc., etc. So I hope y'all feel good about not hitting the like button. I hope y'all feel good by not donating to me. I hope y'all feel good by gossiping and telling people don't like his channel. I hope you feel good by flagging my channel consistently like a bunch of retards and nuts. I hope you feel good. Now, when them motherfuckers come knocking at your door, I want you to do something. The same two motherfuckers that are in here right now that wouldn't like this post. When they come for you, and they coming, when they come for you, remember my lips, my voice, and my face. I want you to be the last thing you remember. You motherfuckers have a good afternoon.